When I get married and when I have sex with my husband, I promise you I'll be praying every other time. I'll be like, you know what, God, for this food that I'm about to have, I thank thee. I thank thee, God, for this food. I thank thee, God, for this blessing. Please, God, make it exciting. Make it very, Why? Because God created this. Hello, Salibate. Hello, what's up, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Fadzi. If it is the first time on this channel, where have you been? Where have you been? What have you been doing there? And whom have you been doing it with if you're not doing it with me? Because I'm the best person to be doing these YouTube things with you. And if you're not here, where's your loyalty? Where does it lie? If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching this. Welcome to the month of love, to the month of bubbles, to the month of surprises, to the month of heartbreaks, to the month of what other thing happens in February? Flowers, chocolates, and everything else that helps define your significant other. Today I want us to talk about celibacy. I want us to talk about sex out of wedlock. I want us to just have fun. So last night I posted on my WhatsApp status, Kutijona, how is your celibacy journey going? If you're married, how was it for you? And I had quite a handful interesting answers that were very exciting because I could relate to almost everything that everyone said. So I just thought, you know what, let us talk about this conversation here and let's hear what you have to say. How has your celibacy journey been going yourself? Please comment down below and tell me how it's been going. And if you're already married, please tell me how it went for you before you got married. Cool. So let me start with the responses that I got. My friend was like, I am starting over for the uptenth time. So I noticed a lot of people my age, most of us, we've already partaken in the sexual communion that is sex out of wedlock, right? Some of us, we made these decisions willingly to say, you know what, I don't want to be a virgin anymore, I'm just gonna have sex. Some of us were taken advantage of, and some of us were still virgins, but I think God appreciates someone who really tries, someone who says, you know what, God, I've had sex before, but now I want to try and save myself for marriage. Yes, you might fall. A lot of times, a lot of us fall, but it's the rising up that counts, But also, to be intentional about it, let's be intentional to say and set boundaries for ourselves to say, you know what, I'm going to start my celibacy journey and I want to be intentional. I want to make sure that I save myself for marriage till I found the right guy, and till me and the guy tie the knot, we're not going to have sex. Because falling off is easy, but being on track and making sure that you set your boundaries is quite hard, eh? Because to be quite honest with you, finding a guy who loves God, right, who wants to be celibate as well, it's a bit hard. It's a bit very hard. It's one of the most hardest things on this earth to find a guy who is dedicating to serving God and still wants to be celibate. A lot of the guys that I know, they save God's steering, but behind closed doors, only God knows. So yeah, if you're like my friend and if you have tried and you have failed and you have tried and you have failed, please keep on keeping on. Just be a bit more stern, just be a bit more intentional about it. And God will help you. God is fighting for you, pushing back the darkness, lighting up the kingdom that cannot be shaken. In the name of Jesus, the enemy is defeated, and we will shout it out. And then my other friend was like, Andichade, whether Andicharamba is virgin or not, we shall see. But Andichade, some days You have so much conviction, could you? Yes, celibate gang! And then other days you're so doubtful. Then you realize, could the heck, who will I give my virginity to? Who will I even break my chastity for? This is like so true, because I think a lot of us have felt like this, myself included. Could, you know what? I'm gonna give this up. For what reason? Like, with the way society has structured virginity, it's a burden, right? Society has structured virginity as the it thing for a girl, and for you to sometimes to carry that burden, it gets heavy, because the pressures of anatete wanting to know, and the whole culture of, yeah, they put an egg to see if it goes, if it comes back. Yeah, when you get thrown, what for? Well, some of these decisions, yes, God has told us to save ourselves for marriage, but society is a way of, the way society has then condemned someone who is not a virgin is the simple reason why a lot of girls feel like, you know what, I want to get rid of this thing because shakuboa. It's the same reason why we say I might as well just have sex. I mean, it's just sex after all, because shakuboa. Literally because of how society has packaged virginity, and they condemn someone who has lost their virginity out of wedlock, which is something that is not cool, trust me, because God would never condemn us. Anyway, the third response was, real talk, sometimes I'm so horny I don't even know what to do. Child, the standard answer to this is pray. Get you on your knees and pray and pray and pray and pray and pray. The standard answer for that would be pray. But also, I wouldn't tell, okay, fine, yes, pray, right? But I think when you're horny and your prayer, it all goes down to, am I allowed to use the word horny on YouTube? I don't know. Okay, when you're feeling that type of way and prayer, right, it all goes down to how deep your relationship is with God. I mean, if you look at God and you see this supreme being who is just told, yeah, God, I want a car, God, I want this, you won't be able to go to God and tell them, God, I'm feeling horny right now, what am I supposed to do, right? So if you are that person who can break down to God, like who leaves no stones unturned with God and tells God everything, it's easy for you to just be like, I'm done. Things are not well with this body. Things are not well with this flesh. Please help me distract myself. And God will definitely come through for you, right? But if you're that person as well who feels like talking to God about sex doesn't work, please find stuff when you're horny and you really want to save yourself for marriage. Please find stuff that will distract you. Find stuff that will, or maybe just go to bed. You know, just sleep it off. And tomorrow when you feel horny again, sleep the day after. You sleep. Life is interesting, but pray. You know, God advise you to pray. And then my other friend was like, being celibate, shakuboa, I want to have sex. I just want to have sex because this shakuboa. And if you haven't had sex already, please don't have sex. That's the best advice that I can give you. If you're not sexually active, hold on to it. I know it's hard, I know it's boring, I know it's everything, but just hold on to it. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Just hold on to it, because once you start, you can stop. With the grace of God, you can stop and you can save yourself for marriage. But honestly, sex out of wedlock is not worth it. Listen to everyone who talks about their celibacy journey. They'll tell you which is sex out of wedlock is not worth it. So much that in I believe when I get married and when I have sex with my husband, I promise you I'll be praying every other time. I'll be like, you know what, God, for this food that I'm about to have, I thank thee. I thank thee, God, for this food. I thank thee, God, for this blessing. Please, God, make it exciting. Make it very, Why? Because God created this, guys. Because God created this, we cannot act as if we cannot. When you're married, you cannot exclude God from your sexual activities. Why would you exclude God from your sexual activities when He's the one who even says, "Kuti, your body becomes your husband's, and your husband's body becomes yours." So why should you exclude God from your sexual activities? Me, I'll be praying, Jim. Me, I'll be like, Ndara, please, just equip us so that my other friend was like, today is evolution day, so you can imagine. Shagato quiz so. But I learned to be self-aware of my emotions and body when I know I'm triggered. We substitute, find something to do, get distracted, sleep, and anything. I like this because from this you can talk to this person in a conversation with the person that she is dating rather, and they were upfront with each other and they are both willing to be celibate. There are situations where you talk to your partner and tell them, you know what, me, I want to be celibate, and then he says yes, but he's not necessarily 100% into the celibacy game. He just says yes because he wants to date you. But then there is a difference between that partner who just says yes because they want to date you, and there's a difference between someone who really just wants to be celibate for themselves. So whenever you're choosing a partner, before you even start dating, right, find out where this person lies with celibacy. Are they celibate pachake ega in his own head? Has he thought about celibate, and has he thought, I want to save myself for marriage? And when you come together, it's just the same energy. Or you are the one who's busy trying to convince this young man or this young lady to be celibate. If you're busy trying to convince this young man or this young lady to be celibate, it won't work. These are the same situations where you find your partner got impregnated or because from the very start, you guys were not on the same. That's where the unequally yoked situation comes in. Unequally yoked just doesn't come in. I'm also preaching to myself. God! Unequally yoked just doesn't come in when we are talking about going to church. Unequally yoked is also in the little finer things. Are you equally yoked when it comes to finances? Do you guys understand each other when you say, okay, fine, you just said we're gonna live by loans, or you just said we're gonna live a loan-free life? Do you understand each other when you say, I want to be celibate and he also wants to be celibate? Are you guys on the same page when it comes to serving God? When it comes to generally time of prayer? Because some of those things we ignore them, but those are some of those things prayer points. There's a friend, your partner, right? There are some things that you notice in a relationship that you should address ipap. Not to ignore those things and then you start to want to give us prayer requests marorana. If you notice your partner is stingy, or if you notice your partner does not dress well, or if you notice your partner is rude, right, rather address that before you guys get married. And if it doesn't change, rather walk away, rather than when you guys get married and then you start saying, hey guys, I noticed okay, let's just say my boyfriend's name is Nyash. Right? From now onwards, if you hear me talking about a Nyash, just know that I'm talking about my boyfriend. I have a friend called Nyash. But anyway, let's just say my boyfriend's name is called Nyash. So much that when I'm now married to Nyash, I'll come to you guys and start saying, hey guys, Nyasha is rude, Nyasha is that, and you start burdening us with my prayer points when these are some of the things that you saw could die and that you could have avoided. So when you're choosing your partner, talk about your celibacy, right? Don't let someone say, I'm just going to come to church because you want me to come to church. That basically means when you get married or somewhere along the line, achatanga back to his old person, because he doesn't want that life for himself. He has another life for himself, but he's trying to compromise so that he meets you. Some of these compromises might work, some of them might not work, right? I'd rather meet a person who has their own level of energy that they already have towards God. He has his own goals about his prayer life, he has his own goals about his celibate life, he has his own goals about his financials, right? So much that when you talk about these things, I can see where that's not gonna kure. That's my breakdown of being financially yoked. But I'm not here to talk about gays. I'm here to talk about sex. Like, celibacy for who? Celibacy for what? Otherwise, me and this theory. Celibacy for who? Celibacy for yourself, my friend. Celibacy for you, my friend. Celibacy for what? Celibacy for purity. Celibacy for starving the flesh. Yes, that's why I say celibacy is for you, because the word of God says when you're involved in sexual immorality, you're not sinning against God, but you're sinning against yourself, right? And the reason why I'm saying that sex is a way of starving the flesh is because sex is fleshy, right? So when you feed your flesh all the time, and you fail to serve God. Why? Because your flesh is well fed and your spirit is lurking, right? So what sex does is it feeds your flesh. I'm told your skin will look amazing. I'm told your skin will look amazing and all of that nonsense, right? But it's feeding your flesh, it's not feeding your spirit, right? And that's a bad thing. Why? Because now you're not pure. And the worst part about it is if you're saved, you will feel it. And when you feel it, you tend to drift further away from God. That's the worst part. So celibacy for who? Celibacy for yourself. For what? For your purity, for starving your flesh, so that you are in a better position to serve God. You're in a better position to hear God. You're in a better position to be a servant of God and to live in your purpose. My other friend was like, I'm tired of being the H word. It gets worse as you get older. I'm done, bruh. I need to be the F word, right? Which is so true. Celibacy gets harder as you're getting older. Why? Because of how the society advertises sex, number one. Two, because of generally how your body's feeling. Because as you get old, your body starts responding sexually. Your body starts communicating sex. That's the honest truth. And now, because you are getting exposed to a lot of adult content, your TV is showing you sex every now and then. On radio, there is talk about sex. Social media, there is pictures of people naked. There is my silhouette challenge going on, and everything 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 and everything. You are just surrounded by sex. So it gets hard for you to remain celibate. But you are what you feed your mind, right? Remember, sex is a bit psychological as well. So you are what you feed your mind. So if you spend half of your time watching, I'm not saying that's what this person does, but if you spend half of your time watching sexual, right? One or the other, it's inevitable for you to feel horny, especially when you just see a guy walking by there, because you're thinking, brother. You're thinking, brother, okay, I see you. But also at the same time, you're trying to be celibate. So, rather, feed yourself with the stuff that will help you to what? To not look at people sexually, and to not think sex all the time. And then, okay. Let me go through this fast. I have somewhere else to be. The lady would come. Okay, this guy is married, right? And I asked him, I'm sure your celibacy journey was interesting. Then I'm like, how did you guys avoid sex with the other girls that you're dating? And then he's like, the lady would come to my house and we'll tell each other that we want to be celibate, but yeah. Guys, avoid going to people's places if you guys want to be celibate. Take it from me. Do not go to people's places if you want to be celibate. Finish and clear. If you want to go to your boyfriend or girlfriend's place, if you guys want to be celibate, rather go with a couple of friends. Don't just go with three, because I'm going to knows the person I'm going to and then muri 4 kana muri 5. Oh, kana uchida kuyenda, go there iyasiku. Right? Go there, sleep on his bed, cook his food, eat his food, fold his clothes, watch his movies on his laptop. And then when he's coming back, you leave. It's as simple as that. Just don't go there. because you end up doing the things that you told yourself you don't want to do. And the worst part now is you tell yourself, Ish, I want to be celibate. I'm celibate. I'm going to his place. We're not going to have sex. Yeah, charara pasi, inti charara pambeda, and everything's gonna be cool, right? And then he's telling himself that, right? But then you end up going there and you end up having sex. And the conviction that you feel yourself within you, the way you then what's the word that I'm looking for? There's a C word the way you condemn yourself. Bruh, it will not be nice. I know of a person who cried. The celibacy thing is a job and a half. Imagine my BF and I's relationship 10-6 this year, and all we have done is hug, cuddle, and kiss just a little bit. 6 whole years. These ones are my leaders. These ones are the leadership. But these ones, I won't even comment. These ones are leadership. These ones, they lead. These ones are our Moseses. You know how Moses led the children of Israel from Pharaoh, Papakashika at the sea, and then he parted the sea. These ones, they are that. I won't even comment on it. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Please comment down below and tell me how your celibate journey is going, how it went, and how it's going. I'd love so much to engage with you and talk and find out more. Thank you so much for watching this. My name is Father T. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you on the next one. Bye.